Your team just lost. Your chest feels tight. Your hands are shaking. And somewhere underneath the disappointment, there is something that feels almost like grief. But the real answer is far stranger than heartbreak. Your brain is not reacting to a game. It is reacting to a threat against your tribe. Think about the last time your country played in a World Cup. Millions of people watching the same 11 strangers on a field wearing the same colors. Why does that matter so much? You have never met these players. You will probably never meet them. And yet, when they win, you feel like you won. When they lose, some part of you feels like you lost too. This is not irrational. It is ancient. For most of human history, survival depended on group membership. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar spent decades studying how human brains evolved to track social bonds, and his research suggests that our minds are wired to recognize roughly 150 meaningful connections organized in circles of trust. A tribe was not just company. A tribe was protection, food, and the difference between living through winter and not living at all. Your brain never got the memo that tribes changed shape. To your primitive brain, a national team is not a sports franchise. It is a modern stand-in for the group your ancestors depended on to survive. The jersey becomes tribal paint. The stadium becomes the village. And the opposing team becomes a rival group competing for the same resources your ancestors once fought over. This is why watching the World Cup activates something deeper than entertainment. Psychologist Robert Cialdini studied this exact phenomenon in the 1970s, when he coined the term basking in reflected glory. He found that after a college football win, students were far more likely to wear their school's colors and say, "We won." After a loss, the same students distanced themselves, saying, "They lost." Your identity quietly attaches itself to the group's success. And when that group fails, your brain does not just witness the failure, it feels implicated in it. Here is where it gets stranger. Neuroscientist Tanya Singer conducted brain imaging studies showing that watching someone you feel connected to experience pain activates many of the same neural regions as experiencing that pain yourself. This is the mechanism behind empathy, but it does not require the other person to be family or even someone you know personally. It only requires your brain to categorize them as us. When your national team loses a match they were expected to win, your brain does not calmly process a scoreline. It processes a threat to group status and, by extension, a threat to you. That is why a missed penalty can make your stomach drop like you just avoided a car crash. That is why a last-minute goal against your team can leave your hands trembling for a full minute after the whistle. Your nervous system is not responding to sport. It is running the same ancient alarm system your ancestors used when the tribe was under attack. Consider what a World Cup actually recreates. Tens of thousands of people, chanting in unison, moving together, wearing the same colors, sharing the same fear and the same hope at the exact same moment. Evolutionary biologists have long pointed out that synchronized group behavior, like chanting or singing together, releases oxytocin, the same bonding chemical involved in parent-child attachment. You are not just watching a match. You are participating in one of the oldest bonding rituals your species has. This is also why losing hurts more than the scoreline should explain. When your team is eliminated, you do not just lose a game. Your brain briefly registers a loss of tribal standing, safety, and belonging, all at once. This is why grown adults have been documented crying after World Cup losses, and why entire countries fall into a kind of collective quiet mourning for days afterward. It is not an overreaction. It is your oldest social wiring doing exactly what it evolved to do. But there is a twist. The same system that makes losing unbearable is the same system that makes belonging feel incredible. During the 2026 World Cup, expanded to 48 teams across the United States, Mexico, and Canada, more nations and more people than ever before will feel this pull at the same time. More tribes, more chants, more strangers standing shoulder to shoulder as if their survival depended on 11 people they will never meet. And in a strange way, it kinda does. Not physically, not literally, But your primitive brain does not know the difference between an ancient tribe defending its territory and a modern nation defending its pride on a football pitch. This is why you cannot just get over a loss the way you shrug off a bad meal or a delayed flight. Your ancestors, who felt nothing when their group was threatened, were less likely to act together, less likely to defend the tribe, and less likely to pass on their genes. The ones who felt the sting of group failure deeply were the ones who tried harder next time, bonded tighter, and survived. You inherited that wiring. Every time you feel your chest tighten during a penalty shootout, every time a loss lingers for days, every time you feel unexpectedly proud of strangers wearing your country's colors, you are not being irrational. You are running code written by hundreds of thousands of years of tribal survival. So the next time your team loses and it feels bigger than a game, remember this. It is not weakness. It is not overreaction. It is your ancient brain, still trying to protect a tribe, still trying to keep you close to the people it believes are your people. The final whistle just blew, and somewhere in your chest, a survival instinct older than the game itself is still trying to figure out if the tribe is safe.